Gary has a skill with which not many share. See if you can figure out what it is. With a speech titled November 5150 Foxtrot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Gary Radcliffe.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
8 a.m., April 6, 2003, San Diego, California. It was a day that I had been anticipating for a long time. My solo long cross country in aircraft, November 5150 Foxtrot. According to records, this plane was an old military trainer manufactured in 1965. She was ugly, oil-stained, and carbureted. Ugly and dirty was no big deal, but these old planes can build up an ice dam in the fuel system, causing a crash. They are not like the planes Bugs Bunny used, where you can slam on the air brakes right before hitting the ground and hop out safely. In these old birds, no fuel means no flying. It was a clear low haze morning, a little cool and not very windy at North Island. I had my E6B flight computer, checklists, and topographical maps. I even had a backup radio, money for fuel, and everything I needed for a safe and uneventful flight. Mike, my flight instructor, wished me well, gave me a few last-minute tips, and sent me on my way. I wasn't even nervous until I got in the airplane. Okay, here we go. Brakes off, magnetos on and functioning properly, fuel on, tanks full of fuel, compass accurate. I was ready to go. 5150 Foxtrot, Island Tower, taxi to run-up. 5150 Foxtrot, clear to taxi. I taxi to run-up. Another checklist, all checks are good, I'm ready to go. 50 Foxtrot, Island Tower, taxi to runway 36. Island Tower, cleared for takeoff, runway 36, report blue crane, outbound, negative carrier flyover. And she looks at me funny. For you non-pilots, what this means is I am cleared to take off on runway 36, transit up San Diego Bay, don't fly over any of the aircraft carriers, this is a military base, and report when I pass the blue crane, not a bird, but an actual crane. 50 Foxtrot, Island Tower, blue crane, outbound. I am on my way. Next checkpoint is the Chula Vista Golf Course and to call Brown Field. Better reset the altimeter, I'm above sea level now. What's my altitude? Check for traffic. I need to get the Brownfield weather report. Brownfield, 5150 Foxtrot, Chula Vista Golf Course with information alpha. Request transit your airspace at 3,000 feet and exit to the east. 50 Foxtrot, clear to transition, good day. Well, so far so good. Uh-oh, I hear Mike in the back of my mind. If I'm not doing something, I'm doing something wrong. Check for alternate landing points. Turn on the carb heat so as not to crash, to keep the fuel system from icing. I look at the map and realize that it doesn't look at all like the ground. There's a landmark I know, Brown Mountain. A moment of silence is proper. Brown Mountain is where Reba McEntire's van was killed in a 1991 plane crash. I check my fuel level and realize I need to switch tanks. What's my altitude? Am I on course? I look at the map again and the ground still doesn't look anything like the topographical map. Now I'm really starting to get worried. If I go too far south, I'll end up in Mexico. Well, if I do get too far south, at least the military escorts will direct me to the nearest airport. I know what I can do. I can look for the interstate. It heads due east and goes right by the airport where I'm going. Where's that interstate? There it is. Okay, I'm okay now. The flight continues without too much heartache, and then suddenly the plane starts to shake and bounce around. Okay, what's the problem now as I start to panic a bit? Then I think, what would Mike say? Gary, above all else, fly the airplane. Okay, aha, I'm too close to the mountains. The wind is bouncing off the mountains and hitting the airplane and causing me to bounce up and down, so I need to climb. So I climb up 500 feet, and all is good. Ah, there it is, Imperial Valley Airport. 5150 Foxtrot, Imperial traffic. Pattern and winds, please. Landing runway 32, winds light and variable, left traffic. Translated, this means that I use runway 32 and I will make all left turns as I approach final. 5150 Foxtrot entering traffic pattern downwind for runway 32. 5150 Foxtrot turning base runway 32. What's next? Get the checklist, descend 200 feet down to 800 feet AGL. Unlock the door, check for other aircraft, reduce power, turn off the car beam. 5150 Foxtrot turning final for runway 32. Okay, head for the numbers, kill the power, glide in, keep the aircraft lined up on the center line. I'm over the numbers, now flare. Again for you non-pilots, to flare is to pull the nose up and land on the rear main wheels. I'm on the ground. 5150 Foxtrot, Imperial traffic, taxi from active to fuel. Shut down the aircraft, call for a fuel truck, go to the bathroom. That's a long flight. The next leg of the trip is to the Borrego Valley Airport. I take off and head north towards the Salton Sea and turn left. Airport is right there. I make it to Borrego with no trouble. I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'll just do a touch and go and head back to San Diego. I land with no problems, add full power, and take off. Suddenly, a big gust of wind comes and lifts my left wing almost vertical to the air. What would Mike say? Fly the airplane, Gary. Extreme fear has at this point set in. So max power, turn the yoke back against the wind, pull back, the aircraft starts to climb out normally. I climb out and begin the transition back to Naval Air Station North Island. Back over the same mountains, past Brownfield, and there she is, the Blue Crane. 5150 Foxtrot, Island Tower, Blue Crane for landing. Island Tower, 5150 Foxtrot, report of being